Welcome, one and all, to Hockey Night in Australia. I'm your host, Sean O'Connor, this lovely Friday evening, and I am joined by the ever-lovely Court. Court, welcome back.
Hi.
Lovely to have you back. And Claire, how you going?
Good. You stuck with the girls tonight.
It's fantastic. I love that we've all decided to wear red tonight as well. So, Claire, I have to start. Who are the Remparts Quebec?
So the Remparts are a team out of Quebec. Bert Malloy, every time he goes overseas, I'm lucky enough he brings me a jumper or a little something. So, this is what he brought back. And it was from when they were in Quebec for the Pee Wee tournament in Feb. And it was actually pretty cool. I wore it to training one night. And Alex Boyven, who played for Rhinos, also played for the Remparts.
Oh, really?
So, that was pretty cool, actually.
I'm sure he didn't expect going to ice hockey in Australia that he would see someone wearing a Remparts merch.
No, he kind of, before he got on the ice for training, he did a double take and he said, "Where did you get that?" So, no, it was cool.
That is so awesome. Court, how are you going this week? What's new?
Yeah, all good. Man, last weekend's games were insane. So I've just been catching up on a few of those just to see what happened in some of them. But yeah, life's good. This is my comfort hoodie, so it was just an easy choice for tonight to wear it.
It is a great looking hoodie, that one. The new merch line is pretty massively awesome.
We love it.
Do have a couple of comments here, guys. Quebec teams like replacing A's with E's. And here we go. Anthony, the queen of the Central Coast with the UMJHL merch.
I love it.
I love that Anthony instantly knows what league the Ramparts play in.
It's pretty cool. It's actually interesting. I was looking at photos last night with my son from when we were in Quebec when he was like 18 months old. And there was a big sign. So he must have been near the rink, but had no idea at the time. So small things.
Yeah, okay. I must admit, I did catch quite a bit of the socials around the time when that Pee Wee team went this year, which Bert Malloy was a part of, and because I think his son was playing in the team this year.
Yeah.
And that stadium that they played in, absolutely massive. Like, what an experience as a youngster to be able to go do that.
Yeah, I think they would have been in awe. Like, we don't have any kind of facility like that in Australia. Obviously, the future, we never know what the future holds, but for these kids to be able to experience that, it's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, pretty awesome. So they're the Crocs, yeah? The New South Wales Crocs, I think.
Yes, the New South Wales Ice Crocs, yeah.
Pretty awesome.
To me, I think what's so important about that is these kids getting to play different teams. In a lot of cases, particularly on the East Coast, you're playing all the same people, and it's very, like, the younger they are, the more contained it is. So I know in Newcastle it's only playing each other, whereas the more they get to play all these other teams and other players, and like, they're going to be better hockey players for it. So I love it.
You see a lot of our youngsters who are going over for juniors and etc. overseas, whether it be North America or Europe, UK, whatever, they come back and they're different players when they return because they've got to experience different things, different people, different ways of hockey, different training, coaching, all of that.
Yeah. You find even you see the state tournaments and the amount that the players learn just by playing against interstate teams who train differently, those kinds of things, to then branch that overseas, the things that they've learned. I know in particular Archie Petrie and Mason Malloy, they're incredible on their own as is, but the things that they've learned, they've brought back. And I'm sure even Bert being over there watching other kids play to bring that into training, it's pretty cool.
No, that is awesome. All right, we've got a few more comments here. Finally catching the show live. Fantastic to have you. We always love people being able to catch us live. It's always fun to be part of the show and get to put in your comments. And it really adds, I think, to our shows having the community engage. And Steve waving his hand. Steve, welcome tonight. And we got another one here, All Sports Cards. Good morning, evening. Let's kick back at work and watch the show. Obviously, one of our UK watchers there. And someone saying, I'm a bit late, but I've made it. Look, we're just catching up for the week and running through some initial comments, so you haven't missed anything yet. Eric Brook here with a big one. Before I bought my first AIHL jersey in my first year in 2014, I was wearing a Portland Winterhawks jersey. First import I spoke to in Melbourne was Jeff Smith, who played in the WHL. Australia was the last place Jeff was expecting to see a Winterhawks jersey. I think it's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
And it happens all the time. Like, I don't know what it is. It's the same with football jerseys as well. You do see Australians just wearing some of the most random things sometimes. And I love it. You know, next time I go back to like North America, I really want to go to like some of the other leagues other than the NHL to experience what hockey culture is like, not at that very top elite level, but elsewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I imagine it's just like sort of the UK when it comes to football and stuff like this. You know, I've been to games in lower leagues and they're so much fun. You get a whole different atmosphere going.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Last week preview. How were the games that you watched, Claire? What did you get to watch? And who stood out for you in those games?
Oh, I went to the Perth Newcastle game in person, and that was just an all-round incredible game of hockey. The Perth goal that was from like not even the first blue, like I was right in front of, to the side of the player. I can't even remember his name, but I don't even think he thought it was going to go in. And the crowd just, I love you, Court. But it was such a great goal, I will say. And the crowd were kind of just like, what just happened?
We're so shocked.
It was, but no, that was a good game of hockey. And then I think Adelaide just went in for the upset against the Ice Dogs, which we've said a lot. Their season might be over, but A, it's a mental game, and B, they still don't want to lose. They still want to win and work towards things next year. So that was pretty cool. And then the Bears over the ice, it was wild. I'm really stoked for the Bears. I think they needed that win and they showed up. So and it pays off.
Yeah. I have to say that Bears ice game, I don't know who would have expected that to occur, like that scoreline and that game, because going into that game, you had the Bears who had been in fairly poor form and the Ice being in pretty good form. You would have expected the opposite. So absolutely massive. I couldn't get over that game. I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah, it does show anything can happen.
Yep.
It really does. And Court, did you catch any games?
Yeah, my lineup is really similar to Claire's actually. So obviously at the North Stars Perth game, and watching that live was great. And going into it knowing they had the ability to clinch, which then threw a whole curveball, which you suffered, Sean, going, okay, hang on. If the Bears win this, can we still clinch? And then it was between you and Pete Lambert and then trying to work out the maths, and because I don't math, but you guys do. And then we eventually worked out that, yeah, we definitely, as long as we outright win it, we would clinch.
Yeah. I think if it was an overtime loss, it would then go into tiebreakers and would have to work out if they would actually clinch.
It would have just been messy, but I'm glad we worked it out. And at the end of the game, when getting ready to post our clinch graphic, the league posted theirs like a minute before I did. So I was like, excellent. They posted it. That means it's real. So at least I knew I was posting the right thing.
And then I posted out a little while later after that.
But I was, I had the Bears game on in the little room that I sit in during games because I have my laptop set up. So I'm watching the Bears game, watching all the crowd come in and like the start of the North Stars game while watching the end of the Bears game. So I kind of doubled up a little bit there. But
did you notice many fans actually, on their phones and stuff like this, trying to keep a tab of what was happening elsewhere in the league?
Not that I noticed, but you were a bit more in the fans, Claire. Did you see any of that?
Yeah, there was a few actually. Not even so much to see the mathematics of clinching, just to see how other scores were going. Whether it be that game, whether it be the Rhinos Brave game, things like that. Like it'd be interesting again to see how much more the AIHL website is kind of like checked towards the end of the season. Because again, people are getting more into it, and overall hockey, not just the one team. But yeah, people were checking the breaks between periods. There was a lot of chatter.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
I mean, the other sort of highlight game, as Claire mentioned, was the Adelaide beating the Ice Dogs. And it kind of just validates one of the points I think I made a few weeks ago of they may not be competing for a final spot, but they absolutely can upset the people that are trying to get to finals. And losing those 3 points to Adelaide was huge for the Ice Dogs. That can make or break their final spot, depending how they play out the rest of their season. So it's juicy.
Yeah, I kept wanting to use like the words, throw a spanner in the works, because that's what it felt like Adelaide were doing. They're just like, we're just going to throw it in there, and you may get bowled over, right? And the Ice Dogs definitely felt that. They felt really flat against Adelaide, and I don't know why. It's basically it counters what they normally do. They're normally a high energy team, and they just felt flat over the last couple of weeks, really. So I'm hoping they can recapture themselves, because they've still got very important games coming up. But that Adelaide game, it was interesting. Going into that, I thought Adelaide last week, week before, played really well against the Ice Dogs in Sydney.
Yeah.
And they still lost, but it was a really close game, and I think they could have won that game too. So I just felt like, you could actually get an Adelaide win here. It felt like they could win before the game started. They did, but it wasn't just a close win. They came out and really controlled that game.
One of my favorite things to come out of that, I think, was Jeremy Friedrich's performance. Not only did he have a great save percentage with 28 saves, but he got his first assist. And I think the league made an excellent decision by making him the player of the week. I just thought that was awesome. So when you get to see those goalies that may not always be the number one goalie in the team come out and just have a kick-ass game, love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yes, I love Todd's comment here. Play until the end of the game. Play until the end of the comp. I think that is some sage words from Todd. Unbelievable. Jeremy Friedrich had like the best week, because I think he got engaged that week as well.
Huge.
And then all of a sudden, he's there starting for the adrenaline in what in front of their home fans at packed barn, and put on that.
He's having a great week.
Yeah, like he, as you say, 28 saves, 0.966 save percentage. He only let in one goal, and then he got his first ever AHL assist.
I love that,
and he got to take home the game puck because of it, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, I love that.
Then the AHL player of the week to boot. Like what a great week. But he wasn't the only player that I thought performed really well. I also really loved Koi Prevo's performance. Like, that guy just, when it matters for Adelaide, he steps up. He has that leadership and just that nous to be able to be the man of the spot to put the puck in the net. Which is, something they obviously missed earlier in the season. I guarantee you Adelaide would have wished they had Koi from the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
But but what happens now for the Ice Dogs guys? Like, it was kind of a down week for them. They're now really in the scrap to be able to make finals.
Yeah.
Everybody does love an underdog, so to speak. But even just seeing Doogie's comment, injuries especially, and players leaving, but injuries especially has really hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, Costa's obviously gone back home. Tourman's been out with injured for quite a while. Hannah had to go back to Germany. Well, I think he went home first and then back to his club in Germany. It's been tough, and that's a big hit on their offensive. But they've also, had injuries in the defense as well. Yeah, tough time for them at the moment. Yeah, but they still do have talent. Like, they have plenty of talent and a very good coach. So I'm sure they can turn things around and really put themselves forward again for that final spot.
They've got a great coach. They just need to regroup and kind of just push hard for as long as they can. But they do have a great coach, and they just need their oomph back, and it'll be so fun.
Yeah,
it's a big weekend for them too. Like two games against the North Stars, not the easiest team to play against, and Newcastle sort of turned things around. They had a little bit of a slump, sort of late June, early July, but flipped it around and have been able to keep strong. So you've got two teams where you've got one who is desperate to make sure their final spot's secure, and the other one who want to make sure they're in top two. So there's a lot to play for both teams. It's not like, oh, we're in finals, we can just use it as a training session. Like 100%. Both teams have to play hard, like really hard in this game. So
I like this, Sturgy. They also have some good commentators too. That's true. And Eric Ballner on here. Jeremy was pumped because he had more points than one of his best friends, Daniel Chen. Love to Daniel Chen. Great player, great guy. Let Jeremy have this little win. That's great. Well, and Daniel's been another player who's really flourished with his move to Sydney this year. He's put on more points than he's ever put on in the AI, and he's looked really good. But last weekend was not his game. And Eric also says Koi's also now living in Australia, so fast track to local. Look, there's quite a number of imports who are living here now who I'm sure would love to be fast tracked to being a local. I think Cam Marks is one of them who still seems to be waiting for his to go through for the Brave, and then I think Tanner Hops is now living here as well. So they've got a few guys, but we did see Timmins and Erdogan become locals this year, so it does happen. It just takes time. Do you have a few more comments on here? I've got to be able to try and get through all of these. Danny says, couldn't be happier for the Adrenaline picking up a star in Tim Payne, hot off his Ice Hockey Classic and making a huge mark in the AIHL. It's true too. So obviously the Adrenaline didn't have to worry about players not being eligible for finals. They were able to pick up Tim Payne, and it was a big call actually before the game, I thought, to go with 4 import skaters and not play Dolan. That was pretty big, and to play Jeremy, but it's paid off in spades for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the good vibes continue in Adelaide, and this weekend it's going to continue even more when they put up those banners and have that ceremony.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a pretty cool to be in that crowd, and they've already sold out. I'm pretty sure, which again is amazing.
And look, against Brisbane, it could be an interesting, like a bit more evenly matched. So we could see a split weekend out of this with these two teams.
Oh, totally. We could totally see a split, I think. that would be pretty good. I'm sure both teams would like that. Both teams are out of finals contention. They're both playing for pride and good vibes, and basically, as a preemptive into their next year. So, But these weren't the only games, guys. There was also big games in Canberra and the Central Coast. Unfortunately, Claire, did you manage to catch these at all?
I watched it online. One of my really close friends took a big hit on Saturday, and only got a few shifts in on Sunday. Not that I think he should have fronted up, but yeah. So at the end, obviously these are must win, and they need to win every single game. So it really did suck. But you know what? I think, again, kind of like Todd said, they're still playing till the end. So as many points, there's still a fair few points up for grabs. So
yeah, I mean, the Rhinos definitely have still the mathematical possibility of making finals, but they need the wins this weekend no matter what.
I
But
think Bastille going hurts.
Bastille leaving does hurt immensely. I mean, how did you actually find their new import? I can't think of his name right now.
Sylvestre. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Yeah, but I think he shows promise. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I thought so too. I thought he looked pretty good. Now I have lost.
Obviously, he won't. He wouldn't make the cut for finals, but based on what I saw, it'd be great to have him back next year.
Yeah, that's right. And it was good to see another player come in and be able to slot in and get some points. I think he got 2 assists for the weekend. They weren't, it's interesting. They were both 6-3 results, which is weird, but it didn't feel like the Brave absolutely smashed them both games. Like, it felt like they were in it and competitive, which is great, but just didn't quite have enough to be able to keep out the high-scoring Brave at the moment, who look unstoppable right this second.
Yeah.
I jinx them, but they're looking good. Ratcliffe,
I do like your retro hat too.
They've got this play where they just keep going to Ratcliffe in these like weird nothing angles, and he just buries it.
It's working.
Yeah.
So.
But the Brave are looking pretty good. They're looking very structured at the moment and just eye on the ball. So couldn't be happier for the Brave fans at the moment, but it sort of sucks for the Rhinos from the weekend, because I'm sure they would have been hoping to at least try and get one result out of the weekend.
Yeah, I think they, for most of the season, they've had a killer third period. Like they just, their legs have not lost, if that makes sense. Like sometimes, you'll find the third period's harder, but they've been coming out of the gate massively in the third period, whereas I feel like last weekend it was more so the first, and they did lose it a bit. But yeah, I feel like overall they're still a team to watch.
We got G saying she's flying to Adelaide to watch and got tickets for the JR.
Is it the?
But anyway, very cool to have tickets to go see for the Adelaide, to go see that game and to see those that ceremony. That'd be pretty cool. I know. G's been following us for a while and is a big personality in the league, so it's good to see. And Sky saying I've jinxed. Well, look, that's okay. I'm sure that will help you, Sky, this weekend if I have jinxed the Brave. But I'm sure whatever I say has no bearing on how the Brave actually perform.
That is the thing, though. At this end, it's kind of like, I'm sure the teams that are really, really needing to clinch finals are like, if this team, and this is again what we're talking about, checking out the game results, is if this team loses and this team loses, then my team's okay, or vice versa. And it's been so tight all season for the most part in that middle. It's going to be down to the wire.
Doogie has come on saying, I think G is saying Junior Showcase. That makes sense. That was actually one of our topic items this week. So the Southern Showdown, I think is what they're calling it, is the under-20s tournament that's being held in Adelaide this weekend.
That's sick.
It involves the Adelaide Ignite, which is associated with the Adrenaline, and then the Colts and Chargers, who are associated with the Mustangs.
That's cool.
Do you guys think it's a cool idea?
Yeah, very.
Yeah,
It kind of same as the Quebec thing. It's like you get these kids an opportunity to play at that different level, and it gives them that more experience to become better players.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of like, I'm like, it's kind of like the AJs has returned, but obviously it's just South Australia and Victoria. But I don't know, do you reckon it could lead to discussions again about the resurrection of the AJs at some point? Like the junior league, like I think it was a great idea. I really would love for it to work.
I think it'd be great if it worked, and I feel like things like this, people going to watch an AIHL game and having tickets to the previous, more people watching gets it out there, gets the demand out. I think it's important. I think it'd be good.
Yes, Daniel also agrees. Junior feeder teams is a great idea. I think they did have it before because it was a requirement of the IHF, but I don't know what's happened to that because the AJs have definitely disappeared.
Yeah.
But yeah, gee, I love watching the younger people. Like watching the under-13 Jets versus Ducks was amazing. Yeah,
That's cool.
I mean, and the Nationals was also cool for all the juniors and everything as well. Like big tournament kind of feel. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so other news this week, guys. Obviously, we've not heard anything about the Thunder versus Bears postponement game, whether it has been rearranged. Have you guys heard anything? What do you think's going to happen? It's been over a week now.
I mean, I feel like the only option is going to be a Friday night. And there was something floated around in some conversation. I can't even remember which one. Thunder have to come back out this way for, I think, at some point. If they tacked on that extra game to that weekend, really it's just an extra night with costs as opposed to flying.
Oh, we just lost you, Court.
Well,
is she frozen for you too?
Which can you see me?
Yeah,
we can now. We can now. Or maybe not.
Oh no, I think it's gone again. Yeah.
I think
there you go.
Courtney's exactly right. Having one tacking on the extra night. I just don't want there to be. There's also in various circles have heard, oh, maybe they'll just make it a 6-point game. And I do
that's
not.
What I thought
nah.
That's something you could do, which is kind of a hark back to early days AIHL when they used to have 6-point games all the time.
Yeah, I hate that.
Bring back a Friday night game. I think it'd be successful. I think it successful to put it at the rink. I know that they'd have to potentially move a disco, things like that, but I think it'd be a much better option than either splitting the weekend or a 6-point game. I don't think that's my thoughts.
Yeah,
no, I agree. It's good to have you back, Court. We were saying on here, next Friday is the only available time, as it said, last trip to New South Wales. So if they want to get the game in, it probably has to be, but we still haven't heard anything. So hopefully they're still in talks and that will happen. Because again, if they don't play the game, traditionally that means 1 point for each team, which really hurts both teams.
Yeah. It's points are so crucial for both of these teams, whether Perth can make top 2 and whether Bears can make finals. So it's like I don't think either team is going to be happy with anything other than we get to play.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Eric Bellner. Perth took 9 points in 3 nights on the road earlier this season. New South Wales, don't forget. This is the 2026 Goodall Cup champion Thunder.
He's calling it now.
It is true. Last time they did do 3 games in one weekend, which was, even crazier because it was in like 3 cities. They took all points. They just went, we're going to clean up, guys, and we're going to propel ourselves towards the top of the table, which they did. I'm pretty sure they ended that weekend on top. Yes. So, Oh, look at this, guys. Anyone who's interested, A-Dub schedule has been released today.
Woo-woo! 5 minutes before we went live.
All right, we got to check that out after the show because that'll be great. Can't wait for the A-Dub season.
I am just going to throw in, they have collaborated with Oz Hockey Media on Instagram, so if you want to check out the schedule, get on our Instagram.
That is awesome. Thanks, Court.
I went straight there to check for the collab and found it. I'm like, yes, we will.
Okay, I think he's on here. Why move the disco? Make the period break entertainment easier. Who reckons Ben Bro could do a spin to Taylor Swift under the disco lights?
That would be good.
That would be so good.
So good. Got to keep their legs warm,
Oh, man. Someone's got to get onto Ben Bro and get him to do something like that. That would be phenomenal. All righty. Let's move on to the next topic, eh? Randomly, I just got a very quick topic here. New allocation of AHL finals tickets sold out in minutes again.
Yeah.
I can't believe this. And there are still lots of people who want tickets who don't have them.
Yeah.
I think, Court, we were talking earlier in the week. There's people connected to some of the players who are still without tickets.
Yeah. Look, in Newcastle, there's I know our captain's parents doesn't have tickets, which is crazy. So I'm saying it here now. If anyone decides they're not going to finals and you have 2 tickets and you want to sell them, please feel free to reach out to me and I will connect you with the Men Wearing family.
Yeah.
I'm keeping an eye out as much as I can for them too, because I feel like I'm disappointed that teams didn't get that allocation. So it's sort of mixed answers from a few different people about whether it happened or it didn't happen. Yeah. And normally it does. So, whether they just didn't or did less because they wanted to have more available.
Yeah. I know one of the stated goals does sound like it has been this year that they do want more new fans to be able to access the finals than they has previously. But yeah, obviously it's a balancing act, right?
I'm going to stand by the opinion that I think parents should still have the ability to be in an allocation that goes to the teams to get first pick, because they're the parents that would have had early mornings, late nights, all the driving to and from games to training. Like, let's let them enjoy this moment. This is the biggest stage of this season, so.
This comment should have been released to the players' families and sponsors, their members, their public. Yeah, you can have a gradual release like that. But yeah, I don't know all the ins and outs of the details, but pretty crazy that we're now at the situation where final sells out like straight away. Like I still remember the days when we used to have the old AHL commissioner going, I will not put on streams for finals unless we sell out the tickets.
Yeah. I remember that.
Wild.
There were these times where it looked like, we're not going to have a stream for finals.
Because I forget, our incredible AHL membership, does that include finals?
AHL TV? Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep. Beautiful.
Plus, also finals is going to be on ESPN as well.
Yes.
Obviously, there's a bit more coverage when you're on AHL.TV because they got more time. They got as much time as they want for each of those streams, whereas you got to fit within a schedule on ESPN. But you definitely have access to it. That's part of the package. And they will also sell like finals packages for people who don't have a season AHL membership as well. So if you are interested in watching, don't have a ticket to the game, and you don't have a whole season membership, look out for that, because that will always be good value.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's move on. We've already talked about the next topic I had on here, which is Sebastian Silvestre, but let's move down to another personnel change this week. I did see that the announcement that Thomas Harrow has left the Brave for the rest of the season. Obviously, he's a young winger for the Brave from Canberra, an actual local boy. He's been playing a lot of juniors over in North America, and he's left to go back over ahead of his final junior season. So last season he was with the Florida Eels in the USPHL Elite and Premier. I see a lot of our youngsters go to these two leagues. I have no idea about them. Are they good?
Me either, but you do see, again, like we've talked about, them come back, different players under different leadership, things like that, and they really are developing. So if this is his last junior season there, he's obviously got to kind of throw everything he's got at it, because you never know who's going to be watching over there for the next, the next thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, fair. That's cool. What about you, Court? What do you think? You think it's a good move?
Look, I think
he's kind of sacrificing going to finals, right? Like he's sacrificing the end of his season.
That's the hard thing.
But I guess the flip side is longevity and career-wise, these opportunities open doors.
Yep, and I guess even and I actually heard about this on the Slapshot Syndicate's interview with Danik Bouchard. Danik talked about the fact that there are certain moments in a young hockey player's life where the importance of it is escalated beyond normality for a kid who's a teenager, right? Where, this is the season that you need to be able to do something to be able to open access to certain leagues or certain grades, which otherwise you won't get access to again.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure on such a young person.
Yeah.
I could not imagine that, like myself, growing up. Like, I remember going to uni going, I still don't know what I want to be doing.
I still don't.
But yeah, I absolutely, it sort of, kind of hit me. I'm like, that's a lot of pressure to have on someone who's just, so young and still trying to make, sense of their life. You're on mute, Claire.
Just 100%. I think that it's so much pressure, and I guess even as a parent to a child like that, you're like, do I push this too, or do I let my kid be a kid? And it's just as much pressure almost as a parent, because quite often they're having to move internationally or things like that. And yes, we all love our kids and want to see the best for them. But yeah, it's kind of like it's a now, or unless that door opens now, then you never know what's going to happen. So you see that with a lot of, athletes, in the Olympics and things like that. They have the same thing of, you've got to kind of throw everything at it at such a young age, and it forces you to grow up. But it's that, otherwise it'll be a what if, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember also like the interview with Hikosaka as well. He talked about the fact that, he had the dream to go to the NHL, obviously, and then there were certain times where that didn't transpire because you just didn't have a great season when you needed to, or whatever it was, and you end up somewhere else and making different decisions. But craziness. I did like, there's a comment up here from Emma Rolfe who was just talking about facilities. That's another big topic that we've all been talking about recently. News from Canterbury Ice Rink today that they will have glass due to be reopening sometime this year. That's really interesting. Do you guys reckon there could be an AI team or going across to Canterbury to make that home?
Didn't Ice Dogs come from there at some point?
They came from Blacktown out west, but Canterbury is out west, but it's just southwest rather than northwest.
Yeah, I thought they were from Canterbury, and then they came to Macquarie.
I'm pretty sure the Ice Dogs were from Blacktown.
Okay. Well, look, you never know. It all depends. Glass is amazing, but again, it depends on the capacity. It depends on, all of the facilities. I think I heard October that it might be open, but again, I could be so wrong. But glass is amazing. I think it changes. It can change the game for a lot of teams and goalies and things like that. As far as an AIHL team. Look, they may use it as a training facility, which would be fantastic. Could have it as a training facility because we all know that ice time is so hard to come by. But it just depends on the capacity and all those kinds of things for an AI game, I think, or an AI team.
Yeah.
Emma does say Ice Dogs are from Liverpool. They also played at Liverpool too. That's correct. So, and that is close to Canterbury. So, yeah, you're not going insane. I do like Eric Brooks' comment here. Nathan Walker probably wouldn't have made it to the NHL if he stayed and played in Australia and didn't go overseas. So that's true too.
That's so true.
That's why I think we do see lots of our talented youngsters, going overseas, playing, whether it be, uni hockey or junior hockey prior to that, and trying to make that dream alive. That's why Kyle Costa has been in the Czech Republic now for a long time. And he's only young still.
Yeah.
So, you don't know what might happen. We have got lots of chat about ADub in this chat at the moment, which is great.
I just noticed that, Diggy makes a good point that it'd be good to see Sirens go back to Canterbury when it opens. It is the space where they won their first ADub championship, and Macquarie's prices and kind of rules and guidelines were very much kind of pushed him out, as he says. So,
and you wonder if it's just going to go back up.
Yeah. And then someone's talking about the Penrith Ice Palace as well. Look, yeah, that was another big facility, but I think it was the Bears that played out of there. I think Eric Brook started his AIHL time with the Bears out when they were at Penrith. So I also remember going out there to watch the Brave play the Bears. That again was another experience, but that rink no longer exists at all.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But that also, we can touch on this as well. Did you guys see the news this week about the Ice Barn opening up or going to be opening up in Brisbane?
No.
I did see that, actually. It got shared in a couple of group chats. It says it's opening in October. So, that's a positive step if we're starting to actually get some rinks back for a change.
Yeah, so I was making some inquiries to try and work out a bit more information about this. Obviously, information is still quite scarce, but what I do know is that it will be a new ice sheet coming to Brisbane. They, definitely you can find them on Facebook and whatnot, and follow them to be able to keep abreast of the information as it gets released. But yeah, they don't plan it to be a big grand facility like an ice house or something like this. It's going to be a suburban community kind of rink for the community, and will kind of add to the fabric of ice facilities already available in the Brisbane area. So it's pretty cool. Like, more facilities, more ice time for people, the better we're going to have. We're going to get better players, get more people involved in ice sports. That's more fans for teams. That's more, it's just good.
Yeah, it's more.
And, bringing down that time, like I look at this at the moment, like, there's only one rink in Canberra, right? Most of the time, and if you're in Woden, that's not very far to go to get to that rink. But if you're in the southern end of Tuggeranong or the northern end of Gungahlin, that's a long time to get to the Phillip rink, for instance, to get ice time of any sort. Being able to reduce the amount of travel time to get to a rink, that's great for people.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like aside from the Macquarie financial aspect, more rinks, it will be more competitive around like anywhere, which will be good. So it might also make it more accessible for people.
Yeah, and
financially.
And I think that if they can make it financially viable, the Ice Barn, for instance, which would probably be a conversion of an old facility of some sort into an ice rink, then it will also show that, you could also do that elsewhere. So it opens up more opportunity for people to go, look, that could actually be a business that we could start. I also think Ice HQ also showed this as well down in Melbourne. And that's only a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doogie said, I only came across this because Ivan Rupchuk shared it. I wonder if he's involved. I'm not sure, Doogie, but I'm sure we'll find out more information in the coming weeks, and that'll be fantastic. Other things this week, I guess let's move on to, the commercial side of things. AIHL launched their online merch shop this week with AIHL branded gear. How do you guys feel about an online shop for the league with league gear? Do you guys want to see team merch be added to a central shop?
Absolutely. I think it's a good step in them working out the parameters of how it works. And then step 2 should be somewhere for all of the teams to get an involvement, whether it's, even just start with every team, their home jerseys available, and just start with one item that's manageable. Orders are placed. Most teams have an online merch store. Like, I think there might be a couple that don't.
There are some that don't.
For the most part, it's I think it's a great step in the right direction.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like there's always ups and downs of these things, right? Too, because you lose a bit of personality. You could lose differences between different teams, but it does provide a standardized experience for fans. It should provide, the same kind of shipping experience and all that sort of stuff, and that can be very beneficial. So, yeah. I
think having home jerseys on the website would be a good idea, as well as a bio about that team, so people who are new to the sport, who don't know who to go for, or things like that, don't know where their local rink is, all those kinds of things, can have a look. Yes, that's my local team, or find out a bit of background about the teams that they're looking at, which I'm sure I know the AIHL website can delve into that, but I guess it would just be then a case of having those expectations of turnaround times, kind of aligning between the teams and all those kinds of things, because then if those kind of aren't aligned, then it's going to come back to the AIHL, right? They're the ones that are going to get contacted versus the individual teams sometimes, if that makes sense. But I like the merch, and again, more AIHL logos, more brand awareness to anybody, because it is great that it was just finals for a while. But as someone who hasn't been to finals, all I've wanted is one of those bomber jackets. So I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah. Oh, we do have some love for the merch store here. Sky says, I love a good merch store. And Emma, I would love team merch on the site. Not fussed with the AHL merch itself, though. That's fair enough, too. I'm sure there'll be people who don't really care about having a league logo on something. That's fine. There will be people that will love it. So that's also cool, too. And yeah, we got Anthony here. Sean, put our chat earlier today. Where is the AHL branded shower gel and toaster? This comes from my German team, the Castle Huskies. They have a branded shower gel, and there was another team that used to sell a toaster that would actually, when the toaster pop up, it would implant
the logo,
their logo on it. I think that's such a cool idea.
When I was in Canada last, I bought, Harry was like, this is how long ago it was. Harry was a baby, and I bought Toronto Maple Leafs bottles, and they were my new bottles to use for Harry. So look, you never know. But I think if it grows and come end of season, teams put out their thing of, what do you want to see next year? Would you be, do you find this beneficial? Those kinds of things, and get feedback from the fans.
Yeah, that's 100% right, and that it's only something that can grow, and from you got to start somewhere. So it's good to see them start, and it'll be good. I do like Todd's here. Good merch equals me being broke. Look, I can definitely attest to that too. Anytime there's good merch, and Doogie has a classic, I would buy this in a heartbeat. Can't wait for the merch store to have an Eric Bollner bobblehead. How awesome would that be?
That would be sick.
He's so good.
And Eric Brook talking about the fact that New Zealand, they have their new agreement this year with Adidas, and they've got now one centralized place with all the team merches as well as the league and the national teams and stuff, which is pretty awesome too. So even if they went to a partnership with IHA as well to be able to get national team merch on the same platform as well, that would be also pretty cool.
Yeah,
because I
think
Australians like their national team merch too.
Well, again, it's a time for all kind of different team players to come together, and you don't have to pick so much, right? You don't have to pick the team to go for. But even the PWHL has a joint merch store, and even at their games, they've got jerseys from most of the other teams in their home. Like if you were to go to a Toronto Scepters game, they've got jerseys in their store from all the other teams too, which is good to kind of get it out there.
Yes, I like Eric's comment. Someone expected the Melbourne Ice store to sell Mustangs jerseys. That would be hilarious.
That's so funny.
And now we actually also have a Mustangs bricks and mortar store as well at District Docklands as well, which is pretty awesome. What did you guys think of the name they ended up picking, Rinkside?
I'm so disappointed. There were so many comments where people had variations of the stables. I I just think they missed an opportunity to be brilliant.
Yeah,
And
I agree. I really want the stables. When I saw
it just-
ringside, I went, "It's okay. It's just not the same."
yeah.
But
But
yeah.
someone did tell me that it should be open for finals, so I am pretty keen to check it out. Like, I'm keen to go over and have a look. And Claire, maybe you and I can go and film a bit of content and post a reel on our socials for them, because I think it's cool. I think anyone that has the ability to have a store that people can visit outside of game day is so valuable. So
yeah, I think if they don't, it's a missed opportunity. If they don't have it for finals, it's a missed opportunity. But there's so many cogs that kind of need to get working for that to happen. But that would be the perfect time. Friday morning, perfect time to open.
Yeah.
I do like this as well. The AHL Jaffa Maker. I'd buy that. And yeah, I would absolutely buy a toaster. Look, see, everyone wants this stuff. Like, how good would that be? And then Eric, Anthony, he has misspelt this, but it's meant to say coming soon to Courtney's house, Newey toast.
Newey toast. You can put it with your Newey fried chicken.
And yeah, Matt Hill got a bobblehead. Look, that would be great too.
There's actually somebody, and I can't remember her name, somebody around the AIHL, AWIHL, just hockey in general, designs like bobbleheads, like graphics.
Really?
Smith.
Yes, and they look amazing.
She made me one like years ago. I have one.
I want to meet her so I can ask her to make me
like
one.
An actual bobblehead. We actually have a bobblehead.
I will find you a picture and I'll send it to you.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's a funk. It's one of the
Funko Pops actually.
Funko
yes.
Pops.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry.
That's
Close
cool
enough.
Same.
Yeah, it's the same. Look, Anthony's also going about this. Eric Ballmer pulls string doll, pull the cord here at the end of the time. You can have so much fun with this. And Todd, saying that they could have I think collector cards seems like a dead set. It should happen now for the league because there's so much demand for it.
Yes.
Put Brody Lindell in charge of this and we'll go crazy.
Yeah. And that way it's league wide. You could have different, because I know Perth obviously are doing theirs. I know a lot of other teams have it in the works, which I think is brilliant because they're going to go gangbusters. But having different, having different ones in the same packet across the league, brilliant.
Yeah.
So someone needs to get a connection to Upper Pucks, the brand that do all of the trading cards.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or Tops or whatever they are. I don't know what they are. There's lots of different brands, but yeah. Oh man, it would be great. But that's something for the future, right? Yeah. And the great thing is that we've also got a lot of great people that take great photos that can be used for cards, as well as a lot of graphic artists out there that can design the card designs. So it's a way to promote lots of people who are connected with the league and the hockey community as well, which is great.
Plus, even the statisticians, they'll have the information there. It would get them, they'd have it ready to go much quicker than I would. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Tristan and Eric and everyone. Yeah, all those stats. Oh man, that would be great. I'm already looking forward to this. Man, we could design this whole thing. All right, let's move on to the preview, guys, for the week. We've got 9 games this weekend. So the Sunday, every team is involved on Sunday this week, with 5 games and then 4 games on Saturday. ESPN game of the week this week's on Saturday, and it is the Ice versus the Brave down in Canberra. So they're actually got a double header this weekend here. Potentially big impacts for finals. How do you see this one playing out, Court?
Intense. I think all of this weekend is going to be as intense as the others. Look.
Do you think that not having Schindel this weekend is going to make a big difference for the Ice?
Oh, huge. We were talking off air that I've got from about 4 different sources that Booth is away. So they don't have Booth. They've only got 3 of their normal imports because Schindel's been suspended. I think that really just knocks them for 6. While look, credit to them, they've looked like they've had a bit of momentum, and they were pushing. And I think Braves just going to walk all over them, honestly. Like, we kind of said maybe a split weekend, but I think Braves too far on an upward trajectory, and they'll be confident. They know they can win it. It's a home rink. It's a home crowd. That rink's phenomenal. And yes, away teams can sort of take on a bit of that atmosphere, but I just think they're going to outdo them. And everyone that's not a Melbourne Ice fan is probably going to be cheering for Brave.
Probably. What about you, Claire? What do you think?
I agree. I think Canberra coming off of 2 wins, and having
it's not just 2 wins, Claire. They're on an 8-game winning streak.
The last weekend, whereas Melbourne lost. But yes, that is the thing as well, though. Like, home rink, massive win streak. They're wanting to cement their place in there.
Well, not only just cement their place, they're gunning. They're saying they're gunning for second.
See?
Like, they think that they can make second, which is massive considering the advantage that Perth and even the Mustangs have had over them for quite a while. But things have tightened up.
Yeah. I think that talking about Mustangs, the Mustangs Thunder game will be a one to watch as well.
Oh, yeah. Mustangs and Thunder are at the top of it. Like, they're sitting but just below Newcastle. Both of them are going to want to get points and get that top spot, but both of them are going to want to be in that top 2. I really think the battle is between these 3 teams for that top 2. Braves just on the edge, like they could do it. So I
think they're the outside chance, but they've just been on such a heater for so long now that they're just so full of confidence. And they switch, they can switch up their imports. It doesn't really matter to them. They still seem to be playing really well every week. Which is obviously what their whole tactic this season was anyway. Survive till we can get all the inputs in, have the full team going, and then we just go strong to the end of the season. And they seem to be doing it once again. But it's not all bad news for the Ice, for instance, for Saturday, at least anyway. Casey Kabara is also out. He's also suspended for Saturday. So it'll be interesting to see that, with a lot of firepower on both teams not being there, who steps up. Because there are great players sitting in those 3rd and 4th lines on those teams that can step up into a 1st and 2nd line and do a really good job.
Yeah. Those teams have got depth.
I'm also loving, the Ice having Carini back and seeing him score and play really well. Like, he's such a fun player. It's always sad when he's not featuring earlier in the season this year. So it's pretty cool. And then Austin McKenzie the other week reached 300 games, AHL games. So there's a lot of experience in that Ice team. And Adkins, he'll be back this weekend and he'll be hungry for goals.
Yeah. And I feel like he's been thriving in this environment. He's had a chance to really step up, and he's done it. So,
So I wouldn't be counting on 100%. Brave are going to win both games. I still think it's probably going to be a split weekend, but I'm looking forward to seeing some of the Ice fans travel down to Canberra to the Palace, and they always make a lot of noise and. It's always a fun weekend, but when these 2 teams play each other, because they're often hotly contested games.
Very true.
So also interesting. It's going to be the first game from Canberra on ESPN. So good luck to the broadcast team. Hopefully, it all goes on without a hitch, and they have a good show.
Yeah, agree.
All right, Ice Dogs versus North Stars court. How are you feeling about this? Ice Dogs obviously coming in a bit cold. North Stars, they've gone back to winning ways. They looked really strong. Obviously, massive wins against the Thunder in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
How do you see this one playing out? What are you looking forward to?
Look, I can't remember if I said this at the start of the show or if we were off air. Both teams have a lot to play for. Newcastle want to finish top 2, so they'll be looking for a 6-point weekend to keep themselves in that position. Ice Dogs are looking for a finals position. So They both have a lot to play for. They've got to bring out their best. They have no choice. Doogie said it in the chat a little bit earlier. Dogs have lost some really key players. So can Coach Quisler turn that around and bring the depth through his lines to show they don't necessarily need them? Or, and Newcastle are just going to come out and get that first goal in 8 seconds and just work them harder than they'll be expecting. But, I think both teams will be expecting a hard game, and that each other are going to bring it. And I know from talking to Coach Kev Noble the last few weeks, they come in with the attitude of having a lot of respect for their opponent. And I think that's an important mindset, because then you're not going to come in and find yourselves on the back foot quickly, because you can't expect an easy game. You especially can't expect an easy game 2-3 weekends out from finals.
Yeah, I think complacency kills teams in this league.
Yeah.
And you say everyone's playing for something, and I think that automatically means that teams aren't going to go easy.
No, that's right. And Adelaide going hard on Ice Dogs last week is a big example of that. They had an opportunity to put the Ice Dogs finals position at risk, and they took it. So I think it'll be interesting. It'll be competitive games. It's one in Sydney, then one here at home. So the travel's low, so the recovery should go well for both teams. So we should see some really good hockey out of both of these teams, because you're taking things out of the equation that can sometimes limit how well they play, whereas we're not going to have that this weekend.
Yeah. And then, Claire, we've got Rhinos versus the Bears this weekend. Big game for both teams. Must-win games for both teams. How do you see this one going, and who you're looking forward to watching in this and performing?
Since stepping away from Rhinos, I've really loved digging deeper into all the other teams. And I do really like watching the Bears. I think that they really needed that win last weekend, and they got that, which was great. I think it's that battle of, again, the respect. You're both going to go in there, play so hard, but you've just, this time of the comp for all teams, really, you want to minimize injuries, right? So yes, play hard and go for it, but you've also got to minimize injuries. Otherwise, it's going to hurt you as you get closer, because both teams need to win this game.
Yeah.
In regulation, not overtime. So it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna, don't make me pick. I have a lot of respect. I have a lot of respect for both teams. I love my Rhinos, but I'm a really big fan of the Bears as well.
That's good. I must admit, this is one of those games where I'm looking at, and my very first question when I look at these two teams is, which Bears are going to turn up? Are we going to get the Bears from last week versus the Ice, where they were really strong, they controlled that game, and they dominated? Or are we going to get the Bears from a couple of weeks ago, who also in Melbourne, they just slumped to big losses against the Mustangs and the Ice. So I just don't know which one's going to turn up.
Yeah, I agree. I think the other thing is, like we've talked about, the depth. Bears have depth. They've got good lines, and they do utilize those. That being said, Bouchard's legs, I don't know, bionic man. I think his legs just he for a man who is getting older, he's getting better and fitter every year. So
that's amazing too, because based on his interview, he was going to retire years ago from hockey, and then he's just kept going.
Yeah, and he's such a lovely man, and him and Bird as well, like, put so much back into the team. It's really, really nice to see, and the respect level is so high. So it'll be a good game to watch. If we can minimize injuries, minimize penalties, because I think penalties could be what makes the game win or loss for each team. So
no, that's completely fair. All right, let's go to Adelaide versus Lightning, guys. I think we touched upon it a bit earlier. This is a game which is, I'm going to call it the Vibes Cup, but really, South Australia seems to be absolutely in heaven in hockey terms right now, and this weekend will be a massive weekend with that opening ceremony, and then, do you think that Adelaide can keep it rolling for another week? Court?
I think we'll see a split. I think both of these teams they're not bad teams. They have their ups and downs, but I think they're a little bit more, these games will be a little bit more balanced, where when they've come up against teams at the top of the ladder, it's a bigger competition. Like, it's a lot trickier for them. They got to find their feet a bit more. Whereas when you see two teams come together that are a bit more evenly matched, you get some good hockey. So I think, neither of there's no impact to finals. There's no impact to standings. So I think they have a chance just to play some good, fun hockey and enjoy themselves and have a fun weekend when, there's not a lot of that left.
I'm also really looking forward to the broadcast too. Last week their broadcast was phenomenal. They had videos on the actual commentators and everything. So Eric, Sammy, and Tash, it was really great to watch. They're really entertaining crew. So they'll produce a really good broadcast for that game. I'm looking forward to it too. Sold out game as well, guys.
Yeah, good.
So good.
It's good to see the fans still showing up for them when they're not having a great time, but the fans are still showing up, which means is that extra little injection of hope for Adelaide that they can come back next year and they will still have the support.
Yeah. Do you think Claire, do you think the week off that Lightning have had will harm them or be a positive for them?
It depends if they can come straight out of the gate. Like, sometimes you see Perth, they start slow and they ramp up. I think Adelaide, if they played how they played last weekend, I think they've got it. That's my pick.
No, that's fair. No, it's fair, but I mean, it's interesting. You got Tanner Hops there. If he's playing, he's still gunning for the top point scorer for the year. In a really close case, which Bouchard's also still gunning for too, by the way. He's still up there. Although we actually saw a new person take the lead this week, Skachkov. He's number one at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is not a surprise.
Excellent number of points.
69, I think it is. So he could make 70 this week.
That's why she said it. How old are you, Courtney?
I'm a child sometimes.
This is why we get along well.
Santiri back in the lineup, I think he's only 2 points out of that, out of that bracket. It's 67, Hops and Bouchard on 68, Sketch on 69, 2 games against the Ice Dogs. I have no doubt that Santiri's going to get some points this weekend. And, there's sort of too many players for the Dogs to be able to shut them all down. You can focus on Santiri, but you've got Sketch and Drolet. And then you sort of got to move them around. And then you've got Daj out there or Pat Nathan. You've got all of these players that have firepower. You can't, in some teams, in some aspects, Bastile's an example. It's he's on the ice. You could put 2 players on him and shut him down and potentially disrupt that flow. But, yeah, I think we'll see those 2 guys get a few more points this weekend for sure. Santiri's on track to probably break 100 points before break that record that has been set with Newcastle at the moment. So,
wow.
Yes, Geordie Woodrick back in 2015, I think it is. 92 points or 93 points is the current AIHL record for the highest points score for the year. No one's really got that close since he set that. I mean, Tanner Hops got to 80 last year, which was phenomenal. But that race is really hotted up over the season, so it should be good. We got a heap of players now over 50 points for the year, which is phenomenal as well.
Yeah.
I should also point out one thing that I didn't mention before was that the Ice Dogs have also sold out their game against the North Stars at the MAC as well, which is also phenomenal work for the Ice Dogs. They haven't always sold out all their games this year, so it's great to see them, post that up on socials. Hopefully, the crowd will be loud, and I do love seeing Macquarie when it is absolutely packed out and everyone's having sort of a party.
Yeah. This is a good thing about having 3 rinks so close is that, and again, with the Bears and Dogs out last year, people did travel. We talked about that. They're doing this, so it's not that far in the scheme of things to go watch your favorite team a couple of hours, for Newcastle to come down. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It's great. And then, obviously the last game series on here, Thunder versus Mustangs out in Perth. Mustangs had the week off last week. The Thunder were back. They didn't have a great week, the Thunder. After the Stars, I don't know. This is going to be really hard. How do you see this going? I don't know what to expect from this.
Mustangs Thunder?
Yeah.
I think that's the fun of it. I think both teams are solid. Newcastle just found a way to upend them, and they did it well. But you now put these 2 teams against each other. Mustangs have been playing well. Perth has been playing well until those Newcastle games. So let's wipe them off the slate for a moment. Okay, these 2 teams are highly competitive. They're both exciting to watch. They've got great goaltending. They've got great coaching, and they've got great forwards and attack. So I would be surprised if it's not a split. I don't know that either team could muster up a double win. I think whoever wins the first night might not get the second night because just the energy that it's going to take to push against each other is going to be a lot. So I think that's where you see whoever takes out that first night might just spend that bit more energy and not quite have as much in the second game, and then that team can capitalize on it.
Yeah, you do often see that. What do you think, Claire? How do you see this one playing out?
I feel like if Perth win the first, this is just when Perth win, they just get this. I don't know. It's not even momentum, but I feel like if they win the first game, they'll win the second. Whereas I feel like if Mustangs win the first, it might be split. I don't know.
I think that's really cool. I actually think that's a really cool insight. I also agree. They seem to garner an energy if they win their first game in a doubleheader weekend, and it could be a really. I expect a really great couple of games anyway. I don't expect these to be blowouts at all. I think we're going to get close games. Could even get some overtime and maybe a shootout. Another one of those really long shootouts would be really interesting. But
especially this end of the season,
it would be quite funny. But I must admit, I'm really looking forward to see Crane back playing this week. Missed him last week. He's in red hot form for the Mustangs, and they are surprising me with how good they're playing the Mustangs.
Yeah.
I thought they would be a pretty good team this year, but how they started the season was kind of how I expected. They'll have a lot of splits. They would, probably make the top 6, but not necessarily near the top. But they've proven me wrong on that. They're doing really well.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like for a while it was like every second game they'd win, every other game they'd lose.
Yeah.
But they're being a lot more consistent now towards the end.
Yeah.
100%. All right. Okay, games. Well, we've actually gone through all the games in an actually reasonable amount of time. I actually can't believe this. You do have a couple of comments in here. Does Sean own a McBrave Mick jersey? They are making a reappearance this weekend. I don't, but I know that Eric has some the hat and the
jersey
and the jersey, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I do not have a McDonald's jersey. Look, Canberra do have their McDonald's jersey on this week. I must admit, I'm not. I don't really love the jerseys. They don't really look like the Brave at all. But obviously, they're doing it for a reason. So they did last year and they're doing it again. Red on the Brave just looks really weird though.
It does throw it out a little bit. I love their black on black. If I ever go one of those, yeah,
they did that for the that was to commemorate the first game at the AIS Arena when they versus Adelaide.
It looked amazing.
Yeah, you still see a lot of people wearing that jersey. Though I must admit, last weekend, actually watching all the Brave fans out in
the retro,
their yellow and blue, I loved it.
Yeah,
the retro jersey looked phenomenal. So yeah, kudos to anyone who got a chance to buy those jerseys off the back of the players, and that's pretty awesome. Kind of makes me want them to wear the retro color more often now.
It's funny. We were actually watching a crushed ice video the other night with the kids, and they bought a few hockey players to just try it out, which they struggled. But we saw a Perth Thunder, like an old school Perth Thunder jersey, and it was the import goalie from I think like 2015 or something. And yeah, it was. I'll have to find who it was, but it was wild, cool. And it was really cool to see. And it's like we should definitely have a retro round of some sort.
Oh, totally. That'd be so cool. Eric also brings up this other point too. Brave versus Numi, with both teams wearing their word mark jerseys. That would be cool. I would love to see the league allowing teams more often to be able to wear their primary colors away if it doesn't clash.
Yeah.
Because I so much prefer seeing the teams in their colors than what them in white.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and there's definitely opportunities. Like, we don't actually get to see the Mustangs wearing their, their really orange jersey that often. It's just the derbies.
Yeah.
Because otherwise they wear black at home and then they wear white away. And I love the orange. So anyway.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, it makes more sense. It's their bulk main color.
Yeah. That's it.
And that's what you see a lot of fans in, the orange jerseys.
Yeah, that's right, because they look so cool. And like, why wouldn't you want to promote that anyway? I do like this. Simon says, Claire, you're the bestest.
I don't know what I love more, the Claire, you're the bestest, or the Simon says.
Simon says, Claire, you're the best. And Sky pointing out, Newey winning both will help the mice. Yeah. This is the great thing about this time of year as well. Like different combinations of things will help different teams, and we saw that last week as well. The Bears suddenly beating the Ice, suddenly had like Newcastle going, "Oh God, we might not clinch."
Yeah.
And Sky also pointing out, she's missed Alice as well, so that's cool. All right, guys, thanks for joining us tonight and on this week. Any final words, Claire?
Hey to Anand. He just said hey from Hawkesbury Brewery. I hope you kill it this weekend. His runners are so lucky to have him, genuinely.
They really are.
Yes, big hugs, and just thanks again for everyone supporting. And I think, as we lead up to finals, I think it's going to be some interesting conversations for the rest of the few weeks, and as more teams clinch or more teams, get knocked out. And I think, thanks for being here.
And Court, any final words from you?
Yeah, look, as always, thank you everyone in the chat. Like we love how much you engage with us during this conversation. It adds to it to get your thoughts while we're chatting about it live, and we appreciate you. And I love to throw the kudos out to Sean every week. His graphics and his work on all of our Oz Hockey Media socials are phenomenal. So make sure you get over there, like them, comment them, share them. That helps us. It costs you nothing, and it helps us to get out there and get that bigger reach, which is part of I think what's contributed to a lot of our UK fans and the UK content creators paying a bit more attention to the AI. So
I will say this. I really loved the graphic I did this week for Casey Kabara.
Oh, that Casey graphic is so good.
That I've made yet.
So get over there and like them, because Sean put so much effort in, and we appreciate you, Sean. We wouldn't be Autalkie Media without you.
Thanks so much, Claude. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you guys also do a phenomenal job on this show and every week with us, going out to games and everything. It's really amazing, and I really appreciate you both a lot. And I appreciate everyone in the comments. Like, you guys have just been phenomenal again. Look at this. 4 times isn't enough. I totally agree. We want more color and color. And like Eric, color and color for derbies. Hell yes. Bring it on. And yeah, look at this. Get some love from Anna. Thanks, Anna. They're a legend, mate. Everybody who's on the coast, you guys should get to Hawkesbury Brewery. It's such a good brewery. So yeah, shout out to them too. And yeah, have a great week, everyone. All right, guys. Cheers. Enjoy the hockey.